Molasses versus brown sugar. The fertilizer hack that makes plants grow 50% faster. For years, gardeners around the world have argued over two sweet contenders, brown sugar and molasses. Both have been used in homemade fermented fertilizers, but only one can claim the crown as the ultimate booster of microbial activity and plant vitality. And today, we're finally settling the debate. The results may just change how you garden forever. Let's dive straight into it. Fermented fertilizers are, really the heartbeat of natural gardening. They're created by fermenting organic matter like fruit, greens, or kitchen scraps with sugar to fuel beneficial microbes. These microbes break everything down into nutrients that plants can instantly use. But more than that, they multiply rapidly, turning a simple mixture into a living fertilizer teeming with life. Here's the twist. Microbes don't thrive without fuel. They need sugars to power their activity, and the type of sugar you choose changes how quickly and how effectively fermentation happens. That's why this debate between brown sugar and molasses matters. So, brown sugar is basically refined white sugar with just a small dose of molasses added back in. It's mostly sucrose, with a touch of minerals. It dissolves easily, stores well, and honestly is a staple in making fermented plant juices. The high sugar content preserves the mix while encouraging steady fermentation. But here's the catch. Brown sugar gives microbes plenty of energy, but not much else. Think of it as feeding your garden's microbes candy. It gets them moving, but it doesn't build strength. Fermentation happens, yes, but often more slowly and with less nutrient diversity compared to richer food sources. Now let's talk molasses. It's thick, dark, sticky, and, well, a real microbial feast. Unlike brown sugar, molasses isn't just about energy. It contains sucrose, glucose, and fructose, but also a rich profile of minerals like potassium, magnesium, calcium, and iron. These nutrients are essential for microbes to multiply and break down organic material effectively. This is why molasses consistently outperforms in gardening experiments. It's not just giving microbes sugar, it's giving them a complete diet. They ferment faster, work harder, and release a wider range of plant-boosting byproducts. The result? Well, molasses often accelerates fermentation by up to 50% compared to brown sugar. That's why it's the preferred choice in compost teas, bokashi fermentation, and natural farming practices. To truly test this, we set up a head-to-head experiment. 2 identical batches of fermented fertilizer were made, one with molasses, the other with brown sugar. Each batch followed the same recipe. 1 part chopped greens, 1 part sweetener, and 10 parts water. For example, 1 kilogram of greens, 1 kilogram of sugar or molasses, and 10 litres of water. Both mixtures fermented for 2 weeks, stirred daily, and kept at the same temperature. We tracked bubbling activity, smell, and pH changes to measure microbial growth. The results were crystal clear. The molasses mixture began bubbling within 24 hours, while the brown sugar mix took almost 2 days to show life. After a week, the molasses batch smelled yeasty and alive, while the brown sugar version still smelled more like syrup than fertilizer. When tested on identical plants, the molasses-fed group showed faster leaf expansion, greener colour, and earlier blooms. In measurable terms, plant height increased by an average of 25% more than the brown sugar-fed plants over 3 weeks. So, why did molasses perform so much better, you might wonder? Well, the answer is simple. Microbes need both carbon and minerals to really thrive. Brown sugar only provides the carbon, leaving microbes fueled, but still a bit limited. Molasses, on the other hand, provides carbon plus a full range of micronutrients, giving microbes, well, everything they need to grow explosively. That's why molasses speeds fermentation up to 50% faster. It doesn't just feed microbes, it actually nourishes them completely, creating a more diverse and powerful microbial community that benefits your plants almost immediately. So, here's how you can make your own batch at home. You'll want to mix 1 part chopped greens, or, food scraps, with 1 part molasses, and then add 10 parts clean water. Next, seal the mixture in a container, give it a good stir once a day, and let it ferment for about 2 weeks. When it's ready, just remember to dilute before use. A safe dilution is 1 part fermented fertilizer to 20 parts water. For example, that might be 1 cup of fertilizer to 5 cups of water. Apply as a soil drench around roots or as a foliar spray once a week. You'll see greener leaves, stronger blooms, and faster growth in no time. Now, brown sugar still has its role. Because it ferments more slowly, it's ideal for making fertilizers you want to store longer. Its high sugar content stabilizes fermentation, preventing the mix from spoiling too quickly. That's why many gardeners still use it in fermented plant juices, where a slower process is actually preferred. So, while molasses is the champion for speed and nutrient richness, brown sugar remains useful when storage and preservation matter most. Well, the debate is over. If you want a fertilizer that ferments quickly, produces richer nutrients, and honestly boosts your plants with maximum microbial power, molasses is the winner. It consistently ferments fertilizer 50% faster and gives, measurable results in plant health and growth. Brown sugar is still handy in certain cases, but for gardeners looking for speed and power, molasses is the sweetener of choice. With it, you're not just feeding your plants, you're energizing an entire ecosystem in your soil. And that's the secret revealed. If this video helped you uncover the real power of molasses in your garden, make sure to subscribe to Timeless Crops Haven and share it with fellow gardeners. Let's grow stronger, smarter and sweeter together.